Anybody that knows me knows I'm a big alternative rock fan, right? I mean, I go to a lot of concerts, and I live in the '90s. I actually still do. One of the biggest songs of the '90s, I think, arguably, would be the song "Inside Out" in a band called Eve Six. They had platinum success with the album they put out in 1998, and then the following album was awesome as well. I've been listening to their music since I was like in high school. I guess that makes me old too. I don't know. But the guy joining us right now on the show, an opinionated guy, and I love his music. They're coming to Las Vegas this weekend on Saturday to Sunset Station. Great place to watch the show, and I believe that concert is outside, which is even better. Max Collins, the lead singer of Eve Six, joining us right now on the show. Max, it's good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you too. Thank you for having me. And sorry I'm a little late here. I had the times all mixed up. That's what I one of the things about getting old, you know, and is yeah, you mix things up.
That's totally okay. I can relate to that,
Yeah.
Max, and I appreciate you being here. I would imagine you probably have a lot of crazy Las Vegas stories from back in the day because this won't be the first time you guys played here, right?
Yeah, we played Las Vegas a bunch. I'm trying to think if any story will make itself distinct in my mind, but I'm not sure that it will. I think yeah, there's yeah, they tend to be blurry, those Vegas experiences, don't they?
Understandable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit about social media because I talk about social media all the time. Sometimes the dangers of it, but it's a private platform and you can do whatever you want. You seem to have had a lot of fun with it over the years. Would it be fair to say that there were times in your life where you trolled other celebrities?
Certainly would be fair to say yeah, I it was kind of during the pandemic when we had like canceled tours and no work and sitting around at home and I started to kind of pop off on there a little bit and yeah, indeed had a really good time there for a little while. I'm actually taking a bit of a kind of probably long overdue break from being on there um, for my own kind of sanity, I guess. But you know, who's to say? I'll probably be making an ass out of myself on there before we know it.
Well, I'll be the first one to say I thought some of your tweets were hilarious, and I got a lot of laugh out of it, and that's really what it should be about, just having a good time. So,
I
Max,
agree.
yeah, absolutely, it's about having a good time. I'm curious because I ask a lot of musicians this question. You have a lot of hit songs, right? "Here's to the Nights" is one of my favorites, but I wanted to ask you about the song "Inside Out" because anybody that's anywhere near our age knows this song. When you're writing that song and even when you're recording it in the studio, are you saying to yourself, this is going to be big, or do you have absolutely no idea and you just are nervous about it and you don't know how it's going to end up?
You know what's really funny? Like my daughter just had a show choir performance at the high school that John, or Sweet Pea as I call him, went to, and we were signed when we were still in high school. So like the band started when we were sophomores, and yeah, and a lot of the songs were written when we were still in high school, including that one. And as we were like, it was a trip just being on that campus after 60 years or however long it's been. But
Mm-hmm.
like as we were leaving, we passed this corner right before one of the entrances of the school, and like I I remembered that corner was where I told Sweet Pea before classes started. I guess it would have been in like our junior year or something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
And I said to him, just all guilelessness and naivete, I was like, I think I wrote a song that could maybe be on the radio. And it was that song. And it wasn't like that song is one of those that went through like once we started working with Don Gilmore, who produced that record, he we chopped a lot out of it. There were like extra verses that ended up getting getting cut. There was like that outro section wasn't there yet, so it was like it was the song in its rougher stages. But I think what was the kind of tell for me maybe was like when I would be playing it in my parents' dining room where I did a lot of my like writing because I liked the acoustics in there because hardwood floors, and it said there was like this
Mhm.
built-in reverb, and so I liked to rock in there with my acoustic guitar. And my neighbor started coming over and being like, "Hey, play that Blender one again. I want to," and and my mom started referring to it as the Heart in a Blender song. And so yeah, it sort of was immediately, even in its rough infancy, kind of like reactive, and probably because it's such a, you know, um, kind of adolescent, hard on sleeve.
Right.
The things that make it cringe are maybe also the things that make it lovable. And I don't know. This is me doing analysis that's worth absolutely nothing. So
I
who knows?
disagree.
But
It's
like,
interesting to me because you wrote the song. It's one of the biggest songs of the '90s. "Tie Me to the Bedpost" is probably my favorite few words in that song. But
yeah.
uh, the lyrics are incredible. Obviously, it's a phenomenal song. Does it ever get old you playing it in front of your fans?
This is one that I feel like when I give an honest answer, no one's gonna believe it. But the truth is, no. It's like maybe it's because we're a one hit band, or people always correct me and say, no, what about whatever. But I mean, the Blender song is, that was our main
Sure.
main jam, right?
Mhm.
And so maybe if we had had like 14 number one songs or something like that, it wouldn't be as novel to me to play a song that like everyone in the audience, whether they're a fan of the band or just, had their rubber arm twisted to come to the rock show, everyone knows it. And that's a lot of fun,
Yeah.
And so it's like playing a song, even if it's an old song, you're playing it right now.
Yeah.
You're like you're doing the thing right now with
Yeah.
your dudes who you
Right.
love,
Yeah.
and it's loud guitars and stuff. It's great.
Max, was there what was the point though in your career where you said to yourself, "Oh my God, we actually made it. We did it." Like, is there a moment that you can go back into time and say, "Man, this is really working. We're a big band now. We're going to get paid a lot of money to do what we love to do."
Um, I don't know if I would have articulated it just that way to myself at
Yeah.
this moment, but the one moment I do remember is we had heard that there was a radio station up in like Ventura County who was going to be playing the song. This was very early on when it was just like specialty shows were sort of starting to like test the song out and stuff and play it like late at night or whatever. And this was Ventura County's fairly close to us. So we were like, okay, let's make the drive. Let's drive up and hear our song on the radio. And as we're getting closer, we hear the DJ start to introduce the song. This is a new band. Some guys from Los Angeles. They're called Eve Six. But it was like, as he was saying that, we weren't getting a clear reception yet. It was like sort of cutting between the alternative rock station and like mariachi
Hmm.
station. So it's like kind of going back and forth at the crackling. And then right as like the first chord of the song came in, it became crystal clear. And it was me and John, Sweet Pea, and a couple friends. And yeah, that was just one of those moments where it's like, this is a thing that's impossible. This is like, my band's not, it doesn't get played on the, pardon, I don't know what kind of broadcast this is, but my band doesn't get played on the radio. That's not a thing that's in the cards, and my band's getting played on the radio. So yeah, it
Right.
was like that moment I'll
That's
never
cool.
forget.
That's super cool. Yeah, that's awesome. It kind of reminds me a little bit of that movie, That Thing You Do, when their song first gets heard on the radio and they're jumping up and down and going crazy. If you're just joining us, he is Max Collins, the lead singer of Eve 6. They're going to be playing Sunset Station here in Las Vegas on Saturday night. I will be there. Max, this is kind of crazy, but last time I saw you guys, I think I was in college. I'm 45 years old now, so I'm getting up there too. But you guys still jam and you guys have fun up there and you put on a great show. My question to you is, last question would be this though, like there are some musicians, they're not afraid to talk about politics and sometimes can be a little bit divisive. Have you always been afraid to go there? Or are you the kind of person that you don't care? You're just opinionated on everything. And if people like it, great. If they don't, who cares?
Yeah, I probably my default is category B. But like kind of like I said before, like after living on social media for as long as I have, the thing I'm doing right now is like just not I'm really enjoying actually not being loud about anything. I'll have conversations with my friends and I'll do things that I think are useful. But like when it comes to, I think I have a bit of a public opinion hangover from just being firing off every single thought that came into my mind on social media for the last however many years. So I think it's probably like a little bit of both, if that makes sense.
It does. And I can totally relate to what you're doing and taking some time away from social media. Unfortunately, it's my job and I can't do that. But if I could, I would. And I'd probably be a happier person if I'll attack and go after, not attack, but respond to trolls on social media. And then an hour goes by and I said, I just wasted an hour of my life that I'll never get back. So I could totally relate to that. Hey, Max, I really appreciate you taking the time to join us. You're a brilliant musician, and I've loved your music for so many years, and I can't wait for the show on Saturday. I will certainly be there, my friend. And drive safe out there, man, and look forward to the show on Saturday, Max. Thanks so much for the time, my friend. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me, and look forward to seeing you, man. We'll alternative rock out.
Absolutely, Max. Take it easy, my friend. One of the best eras of music is the 90s and mid-90s and late 90s alternative rock. So many great bands like Eve 6 came out, and I really do appreciate Max for taking the time to join us. I love those shades too, by the way. I must say, those are some cool shades for a rock star to have.